My name is Ashleé Wilson. I currently live in San Diego, California, and I am a clinical therapist.
What did you want to improve, or what were you looking to improve?
Everything. I had no idea about entrepreneurship at all. I didn't even think that it was an option that I ever wanted to even consider until I became a mother, which is where all the questions and concern and uncertainty came from, was that I don't like where I am with the 9 to 5. It doesn't give me the flexibility I need to be a mom in the capacity that I want to be a mom and also still love my career.
That's good. Okay. So if you could go back and think about where you were, you said after you had your baby, when you became a mom for the first time, can you describe the feelings? Like how were you feeling about where you were before?
Torn in a lot of different directions. Um, again, wanting to be in my field, but wanting to be present with my child. At that time, when I went back to work after I had my baby was just starting to crawl. So it went from, okay, we could lounge around the house all day and I could do my work if I needed to, okay, now I have to juggle and pay attention and, entertain her. Like she's growing and I can't do both all the time. And I felt really guilty about wanting to do both and not having a job that understood that I needed to do both.
Actually makes me a little emotional because that is the reason why I coach. Like that is the reason. Like you shouldn't have to choose.
Yeah.
I don't think you should have to choose. Um, what would you say was the most valuable thing that you received from our time together?
You've given me so many gems. Um, I think when I was starting out, the most valuable thing was when I was just getting in. So I had just gotten licensed in my field and I knew what I was doing. I'd been to school, I'd learned all the things, and I was practicing under a supervisor. I passed the exam, and I was really concerned about my level of expertise. And I was like, who am I to get into this, field as an entrepreneur and do it by myself and have people believe like she knows what she's doing, she knows what she's talking about. And I remember you being like, you're the expert in your field and your audience you're speaking to people who don't know anything or very little about mental health. So essentially, who's gonna know? And she said, and if you don't know, then figure it out. And I was like, aha. And it for me, it was like that was the starting point. And it was like, okay, let me go through and imagine myself as a client and all the questions that I may have. Let me write them down and prepare to answer them. And when I was in session with my clients, and if they had questions or things, I would say, you know what? Let me look into that and let's follow up with that next week. Let's start there, right? And so I came prepared every session. It made me more of an honest clinician. It made me a more prepared clinician. And I was in private practice for 2 years before I decided to do something different. And I had no regrets about doing it.